Okay, workshop video log. Today I'm going to talk about the Tiger Cub, which has been here a long time. Sometimes there's a job that you wish you hadn't even taken on, but you get into it and you've got to see it through. The amount of time that you can spend on these little bikes is the same as you spend on the bigger bikes. The amount of time I spent, because this came along a couple of years ago really, and it was in a pretty tatty state. It actually isn't one model complete, it's two models being put together. You're probably aware that there's a big spacing here on the mudguard, so you've got different sized wheels. Someone said to me this is the Bantam Cub, because BSA Bantam were involved with the Triumph Tiger Cub at one stage, because we have this half mudguard. There should be like a bikini cover here. That's why the electrics are exposed. And it has a later engine, because most Tiger Cubs of this age would normally have the round barrel. This has got the square barrel. So the customer's had it painted, he had his wheels rebuilt, so I put it back together. The tank had a few issues, we sorted that out, but the engine, it's been right apart. Now the barrel that was on there had several fins missing, so we found another barrel. Parts aren't easy for these. There's a lot of stuff on, probably on the internet you can find. There are a few suppliers, but getting new parts can be quite tricky. So we managed to pick up a good second-hand barrel with a piston, minus the rings. But the piston is quite high compression, and this is an issue now because the poor old clutch, it won't cope with free spring clutch. The spring's probably a bit tired, so I need new springs for the clutch. It runs, the bore was honed, I had to machine out the bottom piston oil control ring groove to accept the rings I found that would fit off the Triumph 500, one of the pistons. It's a little bit smoky, but we'll start it up in a moment, but we just got to sort it out, just finish it off. It might be a case of taking the engine back up the frame, because you can't get anything off this when it's in situ. And maybe lower the compression by machining a little bit off the top of the piston, and maybe we can look at the bore and see why it's a little bit smoky. But we'll start it up now, and yeah, the lights will work, everything works, so we'll just show you where we are with it. Turn the fuel on. Now, it might be a bit tricky because the compression's so high, it's getting the piston over the top of the stroke. So once I've done that, then I can give it a kick and it'll be fine. So we turn the fuel on, we tickle the carb. There should be enough fuel in here. If there's not, we'll have to go and get some. Okay, ignition on here. Lights, big two switches on the top here. There's no key. This one is your light switch, pilot light. There'll be a pilot light on the front and main light. And this is your dip. The camera can see that if you want to. We've got a horn. Ignition on. Emergency start is that way. So go back to on. We won't give any choke. Now, just going to see if we can get it over the top. Now the clutch is slipping because it's the compression in the thing. They always sound a little bit ticky, Tiger Cubs. But as she runs up, she's just a little bit smoky. So it's been getting better, but we're not too far off, but it has been here a long time, this one. And like I say, you can sometimes put so much time into these jobs, you never think you're going to finish it. just a shame we haven't got the bikini for it, but it's actually not running too bad now. So we'll stop it now. That's just proof that it actually does run now. So yeah, it's surprising how much time you can put into these jobs sometimes, and I think in a way you have to be very careful and let the customer know that it will be expensive, and if they're not too sure, it's best to sort of say, look, I don't think it's going to be really economical to do it. We've got a bike over here which we're going to go to now, and you know, we've been riding this bike and testing it out, and I've been using this 350 Classic for work, and I can't fault it in any way at all. And actually it's a big bike. If I was to put the Tiger Cub alongside, it looks massive. It looks bigger than my Gold Star. The one thing I've spoken about, value for money, reliability, ease of riding it. The one thing that really stands out, because I have to come to work through back lanes and the roads aren't particularly good, and yesterday they're all washed out. This handles so well on rough terrain. Potholes, if you get to a stage where you can't avoid every pothole, we know that, or loose gravel, this is so sure-footed. It soaks up the bumps. It doesn't, the forks don't hammer or anything like it, it just soaks it all up. I can't fault that. I think that is, and that is what's really good for a newcomer to riding, because if they do hit a pothole, you can lose control. We all know that. It can, if with clip-ons, it's the worst thing you want is a pothole. But this does soak up the bumps really well. I haven't had the opportunity to ride it with someone on the back. My partner, she's not been available to ride pillion, but I think that's a stunning bike, and I think its looks, I think everything about the bike is right. But yeah, just going to say, as mentioned, the Tiger Cub, what you can spend on that, why don't you think about something like that? What we tend to do with bikes is we throw money at old bikes, which is fine, it's a hobby, it's an interest, but how much do we ride those bikes? Something like this, if you purchase this, you're going to be out riding the bike. You're not going to be in the garage trying to fix something, because old bikes, you're always chasing one job after another at times. Something like this, when you're a little bit more senior, you don't want to spend that time fiddling in the garage. You want to have your Sunday morning, if you can, to get out on the bike and enjoy it. Then come back, put it in the garage, leave it for a week, then you get the opportunity to go out, you can. You're not fiddling, and with partners maybe they get fed up you're always in the garage. But I think this is really good and it ticks all the boxes for me. I think the Classic 350 is a bike that I definitely would have. Mind you, I think the choice, I have the 650, but if I couldn't afford that and wanted something just for coming to work on, this ticks all the boxes. Really good bike. So yeah, really good. We're now going to go into the workshop and we're going to look at the Scott Squirrel. You remember we had issues with the engine the last time, and we tried to run it up on the rollers. We did eventually get it going. It made a bit of a funny noise. That didn't sound very good, did it?
No.
Ooh. We knew it would probably need pulling down. So the engine was taken out. I took the engine out of the frame, took the gearbox out, we stripped it all down. There are pictures and you'll see. So we sent the engine to a specialist, because these are very specialised. There's not many people that would do these. I think it's only about 2 people that actually are involved with these on the degree where you can trust their workmanship. Kevin Bayliss up in Scotland, he's had the engine. He's been right through this. It's been rebored, new pistons, it's had the cranks out. It's had a lot of work done to it. So I've put the engine back in, I've put the gearbox back in. The gearbox, there was a lug that was broken off the outer cover, and it was this one down here, this lug down here. We're finding some pictures and show you, but this is grafted. A new one was made, it's grafted on. A lot of these bolts, the threads have been pulled out, and some have obviously tried to do a bit of a repair. So they've all been tapped out. We've now done all the linkage for the foot change. This has all been put back in place. We've got the rad back in. We've got the steering damper repaired, because that came to me and it hadn't got a thread cut on it, it's the wrong size. So we've made this so it goes through the friction washer, that works. Mudguard's been painted by the customer. He's doing the wheels and the rest of the tinware. So we're starting to get it back together, and we're hoping to have this ready with the sidecar for next year, early spring. That's when he wants to do this long trip to Scotland. So the dynamo has to be checked out. It's got to be correct, the voltage regulator, and also the magneto. The mag will have to be rewound, because although it's original, we can't chance it. It's got to work right. Kind of that breaking down, like they had the same issue with the Norton Dominator. So it's got to be done, although it works at the moment. So yeah, that's where we are with that. So yeah, I need the wheels now. I need the back mudguard, so I can't do any more at the moment to this. So that's where we are really. Right behind me, I was told these parts would have been here 2 weeks ago. This is the G11. So I'm promised next week I will have the parts, so then I can put this engine back together. The only trouble is, just saying to Alex just now, when you have jobs that are in the workshop for a long time, you come out of that flow of doing a job. So if it's been in boxes, and it's like with the Tiger Cub, you come to do the job, it's not fresh in your mind, it takes that much longer. It's okay, you do it still, but you have to pick up the slack. You know, it's not there like taking it apart a week or 2 weeks ago, and then you get back on with it. This has been here a long, long time. And you know, you can't afford to have jobs waiting around. This is another thing with doing old bikes, and I don't speak alone here. We can spend so much time waiting for parts, and you can't get on with anything else because your bench space is taken. So it can be hard work. Yeah, so that's where we are with that. I can't say any more about that at the moment until we get the parts. So next week, or next time we do a bit of filming, hopefully we'll have the engine on the bench or part of it, and showing you that going back together. ZB32 Gold Star 1952. It came in here a few weeks ago now. It had issues with being unreliable. Customer would fire it up, start it up, ride it down the road, it would stop, couldn't get it going again. When it came to me, it had a concentric carburetor that had been fitted, and I said, have you still got the TT carb? Which he had. So we've fitted that, reinstated the TT carb, we've taken the dual seat off, we've put the saddle back on, and we've put the pillion pad on the back of the mudguard. This is the way it should be. And we sorted out the wiring, we've done the timing, and now it runs really well. We got the speedo off at the moment. It hasn't come back because it was stuck at 50 miles an hour, so it's had to be refurbished. So we're going to start it up and just show you how good these are. They're quite a soft tune, but it's a lively bike. It's a shame we can't ride it today, but it's not finished. Oh, the tank itself, something else to say about the tank. The tank, you're probably aware, it's got a lot of cracking here. It's been repainted in coach lined, but not done very well because the whole tank is chromed and the bits you see here are polished, but where the paint is, it should be etched. It's not been etched properly and there's nothing to keep this paint on. It's just flaking off. So the paint shop are moving premises at the moment, but they're going to do the tank. There are a few dents and the customer is not worried about these. This top one would come out. It's probably had a whack with a handlebar at some stage, but there's one in this bottom corner that won't, and I think he just wants to get it so it looks, you know, as it should. But we'll fire it up now and hopefully it'll go, and you'll see how easy this is to start. So turn the fuel on. So it's got a TT carb, so we won't overflood this. I'll just tickle it a little bit. Hopefully there should be enough fuel in there. Now retard it. Fully advanced as taut wire, we'll take it back about a third. We just need to pull the clutch in, free off the kickstart, fine compression, take it over the top and give it a good kick. It's pretty good. The advance and retard lever, now it's running, we can advance this up. We never need choke on this, just don't over tickle it and it goes straight away. You can see it's charging well, we've got an AMI just showing a good charge rate. It's not quite warm enough yet to do the really slow run. Side stand's a bit too far over. I think that's pretty good, especially with a TT carb on there, and she still isn't really properly warm. So just open it back up, so advance it up. So we find that old bikes, sometimes Gold Stars, they're difficult to run slowly, to make run slowly, because on this is the same, you have no slide screw here. Normally on a carburetor you have your slide and you have a slow run screw underneath. TT carb, you don't have that. So the only way to get this to tick over on this one is to make sure that the cable is held up a little bit. Now it's got an adjuster up here, so that will just pull the slide up a little bit. That's how this one has to work. But normally they don't run as slow as that with a competition carburetor. The other thing which I've done on this, I'm just going to turn the fuel off, and I've got some pictures to show you. Inside the float chamber we have a needle and a seat, and when the float rises it cuts the fuel supply off. It just works into a taper. It's like a valve seating on its seat. That would be dripping before, and it's not anymore. So how I got over that, take the needle out, take the seat out, I put the seat into the chuck of the lathe. I put the needle through the back first, and we'll show the video of that, and I put some paste, well I use Solvo, around the seat of the actual needle, and just hand lapped it. The reason I do it in the lathe, it keeps it all central, and that stopped that from dripping, because that's a common thing with TT carbs, they can drip, and if they drip because the fuel level hasn't cut off, and they start then to flood, and then it stalls. But yeah, she's a good bike. Yeah, it's nice. It's pretty much original really when we look at this. It's got all the right features on here. Plunger, it's got rear pegs on it. The competition bike wouldn't have done in the day, it wouldn't have had the pegs on the back. But it's a nice example of a Gold Star. The ZB came before the DB and the DBD, late 40s, early 50s. It's a narrow barrel, and yeah, but these were very good in all their forms of competition and road use. It's a good bike. So yeah, that's that one. And yeah, hopefully this tank will get painted in the next few weeks, and then it can be delivered back to the customer. He's slightly more senior, and he's got an RGS, and that's a little bit too heavy for him, but you can ride this. Saddle nice and low. So yeah, that's looking quite good now.